Question for the collective. Are we not wearing all black to go to funerals anymore? I didn't get the memo. All my life, y'all been telling me, oh my gosh, you wear so much black, you like you're going to a funeral. Oh my gosh, did somebody die while you were in all black? I show up to the funeral in all black. Y'all went all white.
All right, Goth, get ready with me. Funeral edition. I am serious. I'm actually getting ready to go to a funeral, and I wanted to do my makeup and everything for it. But I'm actually not going to go to the whole thing. I just want to go to the visitation to say my final goodbyes and not stay for the whole funeral. The reason that is because I actually am no contact with majority of the people that I'm related to. I typically don't go to funerals because that counts as a family event where everybody and their mom's going to be, and I typically avoid those. But I don't want to not be able to say my final goodbyes to the family members that I actually like and claim, and the family member that is deceased. I actually do love her because she was sweet to everybody, and she was always sweet to me, and she never participated in any of the abuse or mistreatment that I went through from my other family members, my other relatives. Like, she's nothing like her siblings, which I just had to learn to love from afar, or just not love at all for some of them, because I don't have the capacity to do so. So yeah, like, we're doing our makeup to get ready to go to a funeral today. I just want to film this video because I thought it would be a fun video to make, to take my mind off the whole grieving process. And growing up, my toxic relatives always say things to me like, "Oh my gosh, you're always wearing all black. You look like you're going to a funeral. Did somebody die?" Well, today somebody did die, and I am going to a funeral. And that's what's happening now. So I have my Estee Lauder foundation. I'm using the Double Wear. It spilled a little bit, but yeah, like, it's a really good foundation. So we're wearing our good foundation today. Not that I have a bad foundation, but this is like the luxurious one compared to my one size one. But yeah, like, growing up, I was always told, "Oh my gosh, you look like you're going to a funeral. You're always wearing all black. Who died?" And all this other crap to like make digs towards my appearance and like make fun of the things that I'm interested in and everything. I'm just not with the BS, so I decide to just cut people off. I don't go to family events where everybody and their mom is. I don't go to barbecues, weddings, baby showers, get-togethers. I don't go to barbecues because I'm the only vegan in the family, and that's just not the environment for me. I don't feel like being bothered. But it also adds the extra layer of having everybody and their mom be there, and I don't feel like being bothered. And I feel like some of the family members that I do love and claim try and trick me into being around these toxic people because they just don't understand the concept of being no contact. They're older. A lot of them feel like, family is family. You're supposed to stick together no matter what. It doesn't matter how toxic someone is, that's still your family, and you're supposed to stick by their side no matter what. And I'm just not with that. I'm just not interested in it. And I know some people say, like, "Oh, you should try communicating, you should try communicating." You can't communicate with people who don't care. Okay? You cannot communicate with people who do not care. All right? You cannot do it. I'm adding this waterproof makeup sealer because I know I'm probably going to be crying today. I just can't believe that such a good person has been taken away from us, yet the toxic people who are not worth oxygen still get to roam the planet. It's so unfair, and it sucks. Luckily, I got to visit her when she was in hospice treatment, and she was cognitive enough to recognize me, even though she was like dealing with memory problems, and like, she was struggling with Alzheimer's. And I haven't seen her in years. Like, I haven't seen her in over a decade. And I just felt so sad seeing her in that state. And she did not deserve those living conditions that I saw her in. Like, she just didn't. And it's just really sad and unfortunate to watch your family members get old and become a shell of themselves. She was always a skinny person, like she was always like really thin. But last time I saw her, she was just so tiny and fragile. Like I hardly even recognized her. And I wanted to take a picture with her because I don't have any pictures with her. But she said she didn't want any pictures because she just didn't want to be remembered in the state that she was in. She wanted people to remember her as she was when she was younger, more vibrant and healthy. So I only have like family pictures of her, like group pictures where we all get together from like my childhood that I haven't looked at in years. I actually don't have most of the pictures from my childhood, which is a different story in and of itself. But yeah, like I'm gonna go to the visitation before the actual funeral starts. And I hope that I don't run into any of my toxic family members because I just don't have the patience to deal with any nonsense today. And I know that I'm in the cuss somebody out spirit of my life. And I know people are gonna like get mad at me for defending myself when I'm being disrespected. And they're not gonna say anything to people that are being disrespectful. Are going to be more upset at my reaction to the abuse than they are to the abusers in the family. And that is why I just don't go around them because the abuse is one problem, but it's the response that everybody has around the abuse and how it affects me. Like people could say the most fucked up shit to me and nobody bats an eye, nobody cares, nobody looks up, nobody even, acknowledges what the hell happened. But if I say something bad, then everybody jumps down my throat and is like, you gotta respect your elders and you can't say that to your auntie. You can't say that to your uncle and all this other crap. And when I say if you're not going to say anything to her or him, then don't say anything to me. Like, I don't know. It's just annoying. I fully understand that historically it's important for Black families to stay together because we're only a few generations removed from slavery. And back then, we couldn't keep our families together because we were treated as property and sold off. So I understand the generational trauma of wanting to keep the family together no matter what because you're family. But I'm just not going to deal with any type of toxic nonsense in my life because it got to the point where the last time I was at like a major family event, the people there quite literally made me sick. I was literally sick for days on end. Not just anxiety, not just depression, but like I had the worst stomach pain of my life. I had the worst headaches. I had the worst like dizzy spells and everything. Like I just could not properly function. Like it got to the point where they made me physically ill and I just could not be around them anymore. And that's why I had to make that hard boundary. And people are more mad at the boundary than they are at the people that created the need for it in the first place. And it's just really annoying. And I just don't feel like being bothered. Like, it's just, I don't know. Like, I don't get, I don't get that. Like, you would think that it would be the other way around, that people would want to protect the people that are being abused, especially when those people are children. But what I've learned is that when people put you in a certain box in their mind and they designate your role in their lives as the person that deserves mistreatment, the person that deserves abuse, and they feel like that's your role, that's the reason why you exist, then you trying to break away from that role, they kind of get into this sort of pecking order mentality where they feel like it's their job to put you in the place they believe that you deserve to be in. Like they don't want you to be confident. They want to humble you. They don't believe that you deserve to think highly of yourself. Like, who do you think you are? No, you're supposed to be in this place instead of that place. And when I push back against that, it's a problem. And it's so deeply ingrained. Um, I wish my people would be free because, like, what are we doing? I wish my people could be free. But, I understand the historical context of why certain people act that way, and people are just kind of old and set in their ways. Like, when I say I don't want to be around such and such because they're toxic, I get all these excuses like, oh, they're old. Oh, that's just how so and so is. Well, you just got to learn how to accept people for who they really are. Like, how about they accept me for who the fuck I am and learn to fucking respect me? Like, what do you mean I gotta accept people for who they are? I do. And I decide, you know what, if you're gonna be like that, that's fine. I'm just not gonna be around you. And, like, I get that that's a hard choice to make, but, like, oh well, like, I don't care about other people's feelings over my own health. And everybody knows that I've been struggling with my health for years. Like, it started off with cancer and all the complications from that. And within the past 6 months, I've gone to the emergency room several times. And I'm just dealing with all this extra stuff. Like, I don't have the health to play around with to, fit in with these people. And my health is more important than their feelings. Like, my health is more important than allowing people to mistreat me. My health is more important than upholding outdated values that I never supported or believed in the first place. And if that pisses people off, oh well, like, I really don't care, because why are you more bothered by the fact that I'm creating boundaries to protect myself against the abuse than you are at the abuse and the abusers themselves? Like, and then there's people that, my family that mean well, but yeah, like, if somebody invites me somewhere and it sounds like a major family event and I gotta ask who all over there, I'm not going, because the last time somebody invited me to a family function and I asked who all over there, people got offended. They're like, your family? What do you mean who all over there? Like, no, that's your family, because I don't actually claim most of those people over there. And that's why I asked that. And the fact that you're being defensive about me asking that question means that you know damn well that you are about to invite me into a situation that you know I don't want to be in, and you're trying to ambush me and not respecting my boundaries. I literally had to send a group chat to both sides of my family and just tell them, like, I don't want to go to any more major family events. I don't want anything to do with our extended relatives. Every interaction I've had with them has been against my will. And now that I'm an adult and I never wanted to do it in the first place, I'm not going to force myself to. Like, oh, that's your family. That's your family. That's your family. Did these so called family members reach out to me when I had cancer? Like, did they check on me? Did they, like, try to make sure that, my cancer wasn't terminal? Did they just, like, send me a quick text or a call and say, hey, how are you doing? Just want to check on you? Did any of these so-called family members come with me to chemo treatment and keep me company? Did they come with me to radiation treatment? Did they offer me any rides to my doctor's visits or anything? Did they offer me any financial support when I had to quit my job because I had cancer and I just couldn't do it anymore because chemo treatment was so harsh? Did they? Did you tell them that I'm still their family when they were abusing me as a child or attempt to abuse me as an adult? Or does that rule only apply after I've made a boundary? And it's silent. Okay? It's literally silent. So yeah, like that's pretty much how I feel about it. Like if somebody is rude to me, now all bets are off. I'm gonna be rude to them back. I don't care if they're around my age or if they're like 80 years old. You're old enough to know better. You're old enough to do better. You're old enough to be better. Like, stop infantilizing people just because they're old. They were an ancient person when they were young, and they're an ancient person when they're old. They're ancient when they had children, and they're still ancient when they had grandchildren and great grandchildren. Like, I don't care. Like, people get so offended, and I'm just done being bothered because it's like, not only do I have to defend myself from the abusers, I got to defend myself from the flying monkeys in the family that defend the abuse and normalize it. Like, I'm the villain for not wanting to be bothered and calling out the abuse. And then that's just extra exhausting. And then I got to defend myself against the people that defend those people. Like, it gets to a point. I don't have the energy to do it. And if they're gonna be like that, then fine. But I don't have to be around them if I don't want to. Like, why would I put myself through torture? Okay, like you only get one life to live. Why why waste it? Essentially is how I feel. Like, if you only get one life to live, why waste it? Why why not try and live it to the fullest? And for me, living life to the fullest means cutting toxic people out and not being afraid to hurt people's feelings for it. It also means just calling people out on their BS. Self care for me means cussing people out when they have me all the way fucked up, no matter who they are, and just deeply unlearning and fighting back against people pleasing. Like, I'm anti people pleaser to the point where I'm ready to piss them off if they bother me. Like, that's just where I am in life. And if people are more upset at the fact that I am asserting myself and setting boundaries against the abuse over like the abuse itself, then like I just don't need to be in those environments. It's stressful and it literally makes me sick. Am I well enough to afford for people to make me sick? No, I could barely talk. My voice is hoarse. Like, I have throat issues, I have digestion issues. Like, I haven't been eating right for the past month or so because my body's just been rejecting food. Like, I just don't, it's too hot to be this bothered, and I really just can't do it. So, yeah, like, I don't, I don't know what the hell. I've got to bake my face. Eyes, shade Rich Peach. I've got to bake my under eyes. I usually bake my under eyes while I do my eyeshadow. Yeah, like, I don't go to major family events. And I know that sucks for like the younger generations who have nothing to do with their parents, but their parents are still raising them. So they're still being corrupted by the previous generation and normalizing things that just aren't right. So even when I've tried interacting with some of the younger people in my family, they're still upholding outdated norms from their parents. Because I would tell them that certain behavior isn't okay, and they'll be like, but my mom said, but my grandma said, but my auntie said, but Uncle such and such said. Like, who the fuck are they? I'm telling you that your behavior is not okay towards me and is deeply inappropriate. What the fuck does all these other people have to do with it? And then, like, they'll be like, Auntie such and such, she's being mean to me. And they'll be like 25 years old. I'm so serious, y'all. I'm so serious. But yeah, like, I just don't feel like dealing with all of this nonsense. And you know, the crazy part is my dad, when he was alive, because this is like his side of the family, he grew up with these people, and even he didn't want to spend a lot of time with them. Like, even when he was like on his deathbed, he was so annoyed that they were coming to visit him. Not because he didn't want to be seen that way, because he hadn't seen those people in years. And this whole time that he needed support, towards the end of his days, they were nowhere to be found. But like once he was in hospice care, everybody came out of the woodworks to say their final goodbyes and tell a story about him. And he was so annoyed. And like anytime we went to a family event and we leave early, I'd be like, "Oh, why'd you want to leave early? Don't you want to spend time with your family? You haven't seen your siblings in a while. Like, what about auntie such and such and uncle this, uncle that?" And he literally say, "It's too many niggas." I'd be like, "Those are your siblings. You grew up with them." My point exactly. My point exactly. Because my dad grew up in a 1 bedroom apartment on the south side of Chicago with like 20 different siblings. I'm not even exaggerating. And it was like a rat and roach infested place. Roach infested place. Like that's how he grew up. And like eventually, like my grandma was able to buy a house. But the house still had like 3 bedrooms. And she didn't really get that house until like they were all grown for the most part. My dad took the first job he could get at 17 and worked that job his entire life. He was just happy to have a job and, be employed and be able to support himself and his family and get away from the people that he grew up around. So I don't feel bad for having that boundary because even my dad, which is, my first introduction to these people, had his reservations about them when he was alive. And like even in death, like every time I see them, they want to try and use him to manipulate me. Like, oh, your dad was my favorite brother, or your dad was my favorite sibling. Oh, your mom was my favorite auntie. Your mom was my favorite this, that. Like, I don't care. Like, anytime I would try and assert myself, they'd be like, oh, I was best friends with your mom, and your mom would hate this. I'm a spiritual person, okay? I have a large spirit guide team. I know for a fact that my parents are like at the front of my spirit team. Okay? I know that you guys are fucking lying. You can't lie to spiritual people about anything really, but you sure as hell can't lie to me about something that I know for a fact that I'm sure about. Like I can't. I really just can't. But yeah, like I'm doing a nice dark makeup look because I haven't done a dark makeup look in forever. I tend to go towards more vibrant, colorful looks because I feel like it allows me to be a little bit more artistic and express myself more than just black makeup. I feel like there's only so much you can do with black makeup, and there's only so much you can do to make it artsy, to make it creative. And I feel like wearing dark makeup sometimes can limit my creativity. And I'm able to be so much more creative by wearing like more vibrant makeup looks. I'm like adding pink to the purple to make it more vibrant. I feel like the purple is getting lost. I'm using like the very pastel pink in my Take Me Back to Brazil palette. But yeah, like I'm just so I'm not going to the funeral. I'm just gonna go to the visitation before the funeral to say my final goodbyes. And I'm just really hoping that I don't run into any of my toxic relatives and they don't try and start anything with me because I'm telling you right now, I don't care that they're in their 70s and 80s now. Because people who are that old will forget everything about their lives except for how to be hateful. They'll forget their own name, their children's name, their grandchildren's name. They'll forget their husband and their wife's name. They'll forget how to tie their shoes, how to zip their pants, and all this other essential stuff that you need to survive. But they won't forget that they hate you. They won't forget to be hateful towards you. They won't forget how to be a crappy person. Like they'll forget all of their motor functions, but they know as soon as they see you that it's it triggers a certain part of their brain where they know, like, oh, okay, it's time to act like a fool because so and so's here. Like, and that is why I don't care. Like nobody cares that these people are making me sick, but they care if I cuss them out. Nobody cares that I'm already struggling with my health and they're making it worse. But they care if I call them out on their crap, and they'll clamor around that person to support them and, try and like reprimand me. Like they still try and like reprimand me like I'm some child and I'm in my 30s. They still try and you gotta respect your elders and you don't act like that, and I'd be like, no, we're both grown. That equals the playing field. I'm not doing that. And you guys can like literally die mad about it. I don't care if you're disappointed. I don't care if that hurts your feelings or, anything like that. I'm not about to be bothered. So I hope that today is a good day. Considering that I'm going to a funeral. Considering. Like I hope that today is a good day considering. And despite the fact that I'm going to a funeral. I haven't been to a family member's funeral since my dad died. Actually, I haven't been to a funeral since my auntie on my mom's side died. I think that was like the last funeral that I attended. And I don't know. I can't do it. I'm using Sushi Glow lip sync. Also, people would try and project their narcissism onto me and try and make it seem like the way that I dress is a personal attack against them. Like I would get comments like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you wore that to a family event. What about the family? You're being selfish." Blah blah blah. Like, okay, I'm family. I'm here. What's the problem? Like people were really trying to act like my existence is an attack against them. And last time I saw my auntie, I did dress up to go see her. And like I did my makeup, I put on a cute outfit, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I always loved your style. You're so pretty. I've always loved your makeup. Like keep looking pretty, keep doing your makeup, keep looking cute. Don't listen to what the other family members have to say about it. Like just keep doing that because I love to see it. I'm always so excited to see you because of all your fun looks." Like, oh my goodness. I remember one time in my 20s, and I was living in my own apartment with roommates, and her and like a few of my uncles reached out to me, and they like literally just like spent a day hanging out with me, and they were like, "Hey, so we don't see you anymore. What's going on? Like, we know that you're an adult and everything, but you don't have to be a stranger. Like, why don't you come and visit us? Like, you could reach out to us anytime you want. Like, we love to see you and everything." And I really enjoyed that day. It was fun. It was nice to see them. I always enjoyed visiting them with my dad because back then, like in the 90s, people didn't really have cell phones. So if you wanted to go visit someone or you missed them or you wanted to go check on them, my dad would just, like we just hop in the car and pull up to my uncle's house, to my auntie's house, to my grandma's house, to my uncle's business because he owns like a tax firm. I'm not going to say the name of the tax firm, one, because I don't remember it, and two, because literally everybody in the family has warned me not to go there. But besides that, like this uncle was so nice to me and auntie. So there are people in my family that I do genuinely love, but the only time they reach out to me to hang out is like a major family event. And that kind of forces me to be around toxic people that literally make me sick. And that's why I end up declining because I don't want a stomach ache. I don't want a headache. I don't want to be dizzy. I don't want to faint. I don't want, all these conversations to keep replaying in my head and everything. Like I always say no just because, not to say no to them, but to say no to that experience, to say no to being sick. Like, literally been fighting for my life for the past 3 years. People think that because I'm cancer free, that I'm free from health issues and complications. I feel like some people try and treat cancer like it's a common cold or flu, and they expect you to just bounce back like normal, and that's just not my personal experience. I'm not saying that you can't have a life after cancer, that you can't, accomplish anything or, anything like that. I'm saying that I feel like people have unrealistic expectations towards young cancer survivors. And I don't meet those unrealistic expectations. In addition to, recovering from cancer and all the complications from that, I've been dealing with other health issues like not being able to properly eat for the last month or so and having to fill up on water. Not because I have an eating disorder or not because we can't afford food or anything like that, but like literally my body just rejects it. And then buys my blush on top of this. Like, and like if it's not nausea, it's severe acid reflux to the point where I can't swallow. Like if it's not one thing, it's another type thing. Oh my gosh, what is happening? I hope I'm able to blend this out. Okay, it's blending. Yeah, like I hope that I have a decent day despite it being a funeral. I'm gonna miss my auntie, and like on one hand I'm gonna miss her and I'm sorry to see her go. But on the other hand, I'm glad that she's no longer suffering. I'm glad that she no longer has to deal with the heartbreak that comes from being mistreated by other family members, despite being like one of the sweetest people in the family. Okay, so this is the final look. I did decide to add freckles to it just because I wanted to, and it's cute and it's fun. I added some lashes, I did my brows, and I took down my hair. So that's pretty much the only thing that's changed since last time I seen you guys. Thank you for getting ready with me. Today is, a, a difficult day for me because I am grieving and I'm a little nervous. Um, it's always daunting when someone dies and then to go to a funeral and see them in their final resting spots. That makes it real and it makes the grief hit that much harder. Because when you don't see someone for a while, you could just think that they're just busy living their lives. And when you hear they die, it's devastating. But when you actually see them, it just makes it all the more real. And it can be challenging. So thank you guys so much for getting ready with me. I will be heading out soon.
All right, so I'm back. Enough being said, let's go to the beach. Black people. So I went to the visitation, I said my final goodbyes, and I saw some of my cousins and some of my aunties, some of my uncles and everything. And I really just couldn't stay for the whole thing because I didn't want to run into certain people that would be attending the funeral. And I already had some interactions that tested my patience. But I'm glad I was able to go and have the good experiences that I did have, and I was able to say my final goodbyes and pay my respects to my auntie while I had the chance. But yeah, so y'all know I'm not the tiniest little thing, but I'm also not the biggest little thing either. Why did one of my chubby little things of a cousin that had at least 100 pounds on me come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, I almost didn't recognize you with those big old legs? And I was just too distracted by, grieving and like caught up in the funeral stuff. I didn't even catch it until like 2 or 3 hours later. I'm like, wait a damn minute. That is the kettle calling the pot black. I'm trying to catch up to her. What you mean you didn't recognize me because of my big legs? My legs are not that big. What in the hell? One of my uncles tried to argue with me about my name, which is a common thing with the family. He was calling me by my sister's name. And he was like trying to argue with me about it. I'm like, no, my name is my name. It's always been my name. Nobody ever called me by no other name. I know my parents named me. How you gonna call me by my sister's name and then try to argue with me about my name being my name? And then somebody else tried to argue with me the same thing. I'm like, see, this is why I gotta go. This is why I gotta go. Like, grieving is hard enough without people calling you by the wrong name and trying to argue with you about it. It's hard enough, okay? It is July. It is 80 degrees outside. I've been struggling to eat food for the past month, okay? Yesterday, I barely was able to eat food because my acid reflux was so bad that I felt my throat starting to close up. And I was not able to finish a single meal. I literally had to fill up on water before going to bed. Not because we don't have money for food or anything like that, but because my body would not let me eat. And it is hot. I don't have the patience that is needed to have these interactions with people. I don't have it in me. And I know it wouldn't be a good look for me to lose my cool on older relatives at a funeral. Grieving is hard enough. It's hard enough, okay? It's hard enough. I have a list of things to do on my to-do list, but to be honest, I don't feel like doing any of that stuff after going to that funeral. And I don't want to just lay in bed all day and do nothing. So I'm just gonna put on a bikini and head to the beach. I can literally walk to the beach from my house. So it's not like it's a hop, skip, and it's not like I gotta like, I don't know, it's not like a huge ordeal that I gotta plan and do all that, I can just walk there. I'm just about to put on a bikini, some shorts, maybe a tote bag with like some water in it. Like real basic shit. Something to lay on while I'm there. And just go hang out at the beach. Catch me a tan. I already put my sunscreen on. I got the honey spray. So this is the sunscreen I put on my face before I did my makeup. And I let this sit on for like 20-30 minutes to fully absorb so that it wouldn't ruin my makeup. This is the spray sunscreen that I use on my body. And I also put some on my face after I did my makeup. So yeah. You guys see how I did my freckles? They're so cute. So I have cousins and an auntie that are light skinned and they have freckles naturally. And I be so nervous when I post my pictures of me doing my freckles makeup, because I be thinking, oh no, what if they get offended? What if they think I'm making fun of them? But no, like literally every time I do freckles makeup and they see it online, or like they see it in person, they're like, oh my gosh, I love your makeup. It like makes me feel better about having freckles. Like I feel so honored. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thanks. Like I was so worried about offending them with my fake freckles, because they have natural freckles and they're light skinned with freckles. Like my auntie and then my cousins. One of my cousins has more freckles than the other one, but like between my auntie and my cousin, they're both light skinned with natural freckles that kind of look like these, but like they're smaller and they're natural. But yeah, like that's it. We about to go to the beach. I'm gonna edit this video down. I'm gonna do a voiceover, and I don't know if I'm gonna post everything that I recorded earlier, because I don't know if everything I said while doing my makeup is appropriate for the internet. So we're about to go out. Question for the collective: are we not wearing all black to go to funerals anymore? I didn't get the memo. All my life, y'all been telling me, oh my gosh, you wear so much black, you like you're going to a funeral. Oh my gosh, did somebody die while you were in all black? I show up to the funeral in all black. Y'all wearing all white. Y'all wearing athletic wear. Y'all wearing yoga pants. Y'all got on pink polos and khakis. Y'all wearing a gray suit. Like most people I saw was not wearing all black. I didn't get the memo. I'm still gonna wear all black anyways, because that's what I like to wear, whether it's somebody's funeral or not. But ain't nobody tell me nothing. I mean, I wasn't gonna change the way I dress, but yeah. I'm sorry I didn't get any pictures of how I looked when I went to this funeral, aside from my makeup pictures before I left. I was just grieving is hard. I didn't want to take pictures with anybody. I didn't want to take an outfit picture. I just wanted to say my final goodbyes and, say hello to some people that I recognize and leave it there. But I just truly could not say for the full thing, because I don't have the patience. I don't have it in me. I haven't had a good food day in like a month, and it's hot outside. And we're at a funeral, and grieving is hard. I know that if people do or say certain things, I'm not going to have the patience to deal with it. I can't do it. So I got to pull myself away. I'm sorry. I hope that nobody takes offense to me only going to the visitation. I'm just glad I was able to do that, because at the end of the day, the purpose of the funeral is to pay your final respects to the dead. It's not about everybody else. It's about paying your respects to the dead and, honoring them in their lives, and just showing up and, letting them know that they mattered and you're not going to forget about them and they had an impact on your life in some type of positive way. That's what's most important. So yeah, like I really just kind of want to shake off some of the sadness and go hang out at the beach and just chill out for a minute. I don't want to do anything on my to-do list. I feel like nothing else matters. I just really need to sit in this grieving process and the post-funeralness of it. So I will see you guys later. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.